Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Power Rankings. It is week 12. I'm your commissioner, Nick, and I'm 6-5, and I just might be that team pal because I'm back in the playoffs where I belong. 3 weeks to go. It's week 12. It's a rematch of every matchup from week 1. We're back to where we started. 3 games. That's all it is. 3 games left. Don't forget to set your lineups. Don't forget to make waiver claims. Trade deadlines in a week. This is it, guys. We are in the closing stretch here of the regular season. Let's get right to business here. It's the Power Rankings 1 through 12. Here we go. Special game of the week this week. Let's get into it. Number 12. Beans Pride Parade. Beans took another L this week at the forefront of the league in the game of the week. Nick Flub could only muster 19 yards on the ground against the Bills, and after finally looking like a smash play, Where is Tony went cold turkey on the Chiefs as he re-injured his hamstring. Beans is now the first team officially eliminated from playoff contention. On the bright side, he now has the inside track at getting the number 1 pick next year. Number 11. What a waste of time and money. Brad drops to number 11 in the rankings after suffering his 4th straight loss at the hands of Luke, and you better believe Brad is not on a roll. Brad was almost better off starting Tom Brady on the bye than choosing to ride with Russell Wilson as he only scored 8 points. Fun fact, Russ has thrown 7 touchdown passes on the season. That's 5 less than the amount of bathrooms he has in his house. We don't have to talk anymore about this crappy team. Brad would rather watch the World Cup than the rankings anyway. Number 10. Team Lance 2.0. Cam drops a spot in the rankings after failing to set a complete lineup and losing to Hunter. Nice guy Andy Dalton set the tone, throwing 3 touchdowns for 26 points, and Najee Harris was in feast mode as he finally broke out of his season-long slump, scoring 27 points. But it wasn't enough as these guys lost by 20. If only Cam picked up and started a tight end and defense off the waivers, this game was well within reach. This team's going nowhere this season, but in a tribute to former GM Lance, maybe next year. Number 9. When legends rise. Frank put up his most points in a game all season, scoring 131.4 in a winning effort in the game of the week against Beans, ending his 6-game losing streak. Amari Super led the way with 2 touchdowns and 31 points against the Bills. Interesting note, Cooper averages just 5 points in traditional road games, 21 points at home, and now a whopping 31 points at neutral site games. Daniel Jones, aka Vanilla Vic, also had a big game, rushing for 50 yards and produced 25 points. With his win, Frank doubled his playoff chances and raised his points per game average over 100. But this team just lost their best chance at the number 1 pick. Number 8. Harambe's Olave Javante Deontay. Oliver drops 3 spots after coming up short against Jerry this week as he continued to be a big bugaboo for Harambe. George Kittle went off in his revenge game against Jerry, scoring 2 touchdowns for 24 points. But it wasn't enough as Michael Farter stunk up the offense, scoring just 2 points. Harambe's playoff chances dropped to just 61%, but looking ahead, Oliver has Beans and Frank coming up in what appears to be easy wins. Let's see what Harambe can do. Number 7. The Process. Ryan fell victim to my team and continues to drop in the rankings. Before the game, I made a Jamal Williams and Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown parlay, and Williams did way more than I asked, scoring 3 touchdowns for 24 points. But Jefferson was held in check by the Cowboys defense, and my parlay was dead. Now I hear Jefferson might have a mild turf toe. That could be a season killer for Ryan, and I didn't forget when Ryan came on around the league and called my team trash. Well, how the turntables. The most overrated team in the league may be done. Number 6. Not that team pal. Whoa, baby. My team won again to improve to 6-5 on the season. Tony the Tiger Pollard played great, scoring 2 touchdowns and a whopping 37 points. And since it's the season of giving thanks, I would like to say I'm thankful for Jalen Hurts, as he's been the apple to my pie all season. Now, some might say I'm only 3-8 against the median, but a wise man once told me it's not about how you win, it's about how many wins you have. And I've won 4 out of my last 5. 5 out of my last 7, and dug myself out of the basement and back into the playoffs. Might be time to change my name to maybe that team pal? Number 5. Poppy's prized possession. Brophy drops 2 spots after losing to Dan this week. The Black Kirk Cousins did all he could, scoring 24.6 points against Minnesota. Unfortunately, Dak failed to get the ball to Dalton Shucks at tight end, as he only had 5 points. And Poppy probably isn't too happy with AJ Frown's performance of late, as he's now gone 2 weeks in a row without producing double-digit fantasy points. It's not too late to trade him away. I can think of one team who is desperate for a wide receiver and could complete the Eagles stack. Just saying. Still an 82% chance at making the playoffs, but the margin for error has shrunk. Number 4. Quantum Cheeseburger. Jerry's team picked up a huge win over Oliver this week, while his team was shorthanded with his Dolphins on the bye. Jimmy G and DeAndre Hopkins did the heavy lifting on Monday Night Football, while Ramondre Stevenson and DeAndre Swift got outplayed by Samaje Perine riding the bench, who exploded for 3 touchdowns and 30 points. And as always, the Muth was Luth yet again as he gobbled up the Bengals defense. Jerry now has a 99% chance at making the playoffs, and at the beginning of the season, that seemed as unlikely as Saudi Arabia defeating Argentina in the World Cup. Who would have thought? Not me. Number 3. King of the Higgins V3. Luke snapped the losing skid as he decimated Brad this week. Josh Slacobs got the ball rolling with his 19-point performance, and T. Biggins had a huge game, putting up nearly 24 points. Only downside here was Josh Allen having his worst fantasy performance of the season, scoring just 12 points. I'll take the win for the Bills, but if Luke wants to make a deep playoff run, they're going to need MVP Josh back ASAP. Number 2. Kamish's daddy, Hunter, became the second team to punch his ticket to the playoffs after winning his 4th win in a row against Cam in suspicious fashion. Justin Fields came back to earth just a little bit, but Davante Adams stayed in the flames as he caught 2 touchdowns and produced 33 points. Tyler Kickin' Bass and Taking Names had great success with this week as he nailed 6 field goals, including 1 from 56 yards. Hunter still looks like one of the favorites to win it all heading into the playoffs. And number 1, Team Never Lucky. The reigning, defending, undisputed number 1 team in bad company is Dan, as he overcame the White Dak Prescott's disastrous negative 1.5 point game and still defeated Brophy. Travis Kelce went off for a monster game, scoring 3 touchdowns for 35 points, and left hand up for everyone for the Commanders defense as they stuffed the Texans, scoring 21 points. Dan has now beaten everyone in the league so far except Jerry. We could see round 2 of that matchup in the playoffs. That would be something to see. And now let's take a look at our playoff picture following week 11. As you can see, Team Never Lucky is the 1 seed still. I have jumped up into the 6th seed and would be taking on Quantum Cheeseburger, who somehow, some way beat me, but has only beat me once in his lifetime. So if this matchup were to stay, I'd put the house on myself beating Quantum Cheeseburger here. The process fell to the 7th seed. He would take on Kamish's daddy. That's a big, long-time rivalry there between Ryan and Hunter. And Poppy's prized possession taking on King of the Hill V3 right there as well. Harambe Olave Javante Deontay is in the hunt now. Team Lance 2.0 is 2 games back, and we have taken Brad out of the hunt. He's out of the hunt at this point. And let's take a look at our tank tracker. Not much change this week. Everybody slides down. Beans is in full-on tank mode now that he's done with the Army. Congratulations, Beans. Thank you for your service, by the way. Brad, Cam, you guys are done. But how about Frank? More than doubled his playoff chances this week, so there might be a chance. And let's move on to my commissioner picks this week. Last week, I went 4-2 with my picks, so here we go. First matchup, we've got What a Waste of Time and Money taking on Team Lance 2.0, and this is going to be a horrible game here. Both of these teams absolutely stink. Wouldn't surprise me if a couple lineup positions are open by these guys. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but I'm going to take Brad here, probably like 49-37. Like, these teams are terrible. Next matchup, One Legends Rise taking on Poppy's prized possession. And you know what? Frank's riding high, and Poppy had a bit of a snafu last week in a tough matchup. But I'm going to ride with Poppy here to bounce back and get the win. Beans Pride Parade taking on Harambe Zalave, Javante Deontay. And this is a can't-lose game for Oliver. I'm taking him to win. He cannot lose this one. Otherwise, he is in deep trouble for the playoffs. King of the Higgins V3 taking on the Process. And I'm going to take King of the Higgins V3. Ryan's the most overrated team in the league. And he's going to lose again here. And then we got Kamish's Daddy taking on Quantum Cheeseburger. And this will be interesting because does Hunter change his team name back to Jerry's Daddy after this one? Because he's going to beat Jerry twice in one season, maybe 3 times if they meet in the playoffs as well. I'm taking Hunter in this matchup. And in the game of the week, we've got a 2019 championship game rematch between Dan and the Commissioner as Team Never Lucky takes on Not That Team Pal. Both of these teams enter on a hot streak. Both have won 4 out of their last 5, but only one will walk out victorious. Historically, my team has had the upper hand over Dan, but not only did Dan beat me in the 2019 championship game, he also defeated me in week 1. My running game has been strong lately, but I am in desperate need of wide receiver help, and I think that's going to cost me in this matchup. It's tough to beat the same team twice in one season, but I'm going to take Dan to win this one, only because I'm hoping that this is a jinx. I'm putting the jinx on Dan this week, and Not That Team Pal hopefully will come out victorious. And that is all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm so thankful for you. I hope you're thankful for bad company. Let's have a great week.